Good morning and happy Friday. So my name is Jen Bailey. I'm a VSG athlete. This is my dog Karma. He is my emotional support and I love him dearly. Today's live stream is going to be about depression post-VSG. I'll touch on a couple little facts and figures and then go over my life, my story. So normally I'm not really nervous for these things. I like give the info, talk about my life, and it's great. But today is different. I guess, I don't know, I'm happy to be transparent and happy to put this out there, but it is still, it's a lot. So that said, yeah, are we ready? I think we're ready. Firstly, I did go online. I checked out some figures on National Institute of Health.gov. So that's where I came across these things. I'm not just kind of spouting out info at you. But as of 2017, 300 million people around the world have depression. This fact is from World Health Organization. The other ones are from NIH. So yeah, there's a lot of us. I have depression, and it's something that I've had for years, since my early 20s, but we'll get into that a bit later. But there's a lot of us out there, so, you know, you're not alone if you're in this life, in this position, and yeah, it's there. It comes and goes. There is no single cause of depression. There's not one specific thing that's going to create it. It's a combination of brain chemistry, hormones, genetics, life experiences, and physical health. All of these things can contribute in some way, and it's just that's where we're at. Again, for me, I have it and I struggle with it. There are a lot of days that are really, really great. There's a lot of good days, but some days it just hits me and different things may trigger it, but that's my life. That's what I deal with. Running helps so much. It's helped me to stay off of medication, and you know, maybe someday I'll have to go back on it. I don't know. It just depends on life and how I'm able to deal with it. Now, when it comes to surgery, so I went into my bariatric surgery with depression. It was on hiatus. Great. Things go great. I lose weight. Fine, still maintaining. But for post-bariatric patients, depression can hit almost 65. I mean, it's literally like 65%, 64.9, with almost 1 in 5 patients affected by it. So that's kind of high. Like, that's a lot of us. And it can go from, you know, low grade to severe. That, from what I read, it comes back or will kind of trigger with weight regain. So you feel like, hey, this isn't working out. I'm not doing the right things. What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. You know, all of those negative thoughts can come in, and it forms this cycle. A lot of us are emotional eaters, so we'll start eating again, all the foods that are bad, that don't serve our bodies. And then that starts the guilt, and the guilt of like, why did I do that? Oh, I feel bad. And then you're eating more. And then now you're adding on weight. You're stretching out your new tiny tummy. Like, you feel awful because when we push our limits of this little pouch we have, it hurts. And, you know, it's a shit cycle, and nobody wants that. And that's the reality of it. So that's how, you know, people post-VSG, kind of can deal with the depression, or how it starts it. It's not good. Warning signs. So if you have a loved one, a friend, someone you're worried about, these are things you can check out. Some of them are subtle. I mean, you wouldn't even know. There's a lot of people that know me that wouldn't know that I have depression, that I'm in a moment, because I guess over time you can learn very well how to mask these things. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. You know, you can continue life, but yeah, warning signs: chronic fatigue or lack of energy, poor concentration or memory. You're not going to remember things as great in, like, you know, the short spurts. Hopelessness, withdrawal from friends or social activities, and a sudden change from depressed behavior to a happy or a calm state. And for me, I have hit all of those marks, and that's only a teeny chunk, because this thing it gives me 200 characters to work with. So I just put some of, you know, what I feel I can relate to. Yeah, with withdrawal, you'll pull away, and that my husband sees that. I just won't talk. I won't be around, and I'll let him do his thing, and I'll, you know, try and stay away and be on my own. And I've told him, you know, in the worst moments that, like, I feel like I can't make a sentence. I can't speak the way I normally do. I can't think of things the way I would. Like, I'm just not firing on all cylinders. And it's crazy. That's life. That's how it happens, you know, for a lot of people, including myself. The sudden change from depressed behavior to happy or calm state. Absolutely. Like, that can happen when I am really feeling that bad, and the calm state is just like, I'm done. And that's how my brain works. So someone did ask, and I'm going to share this. I thought it was great. So let's go to these comments real quick. It's my husband. Thank you. And Smalls. It's our friend Miguel, another running friend. So awesome. I love this guy. Thank you for being here. So the question is, are there any proactive or reactive actions that partners, family, or friends can do to help in those situations? Sorry. And absolutely, there are things. If you see these signs, if you know, someone reaches out to you, definitely in that, you know, stay calm. It's a lot. It's a lot for someone to be on the other end of. You don't have to fix everything, but reassure them that you're there, that you're there to listen, that you're available. But yeah, you care enough to hear about their experience. And it may be, you know, it's even a stranger. This just the kindness matters so much. To even say, I love you no matter what, and we're going to get through this together. Those kind of things help like leaps and bounds for a lot of us. It's worth spending that time talking to someone and just sharing the kindness. Like, we need that. I think everybody needs that. Kindness just matters all around. It's okay to have an honest conversation. Absolutely. When we talk about this, nothing's meant to be sugar-coated. You can address things head on, as it should. Just because you ask someone, are you thinking about suicide? Do you have suicidal thoughts? Because depression can so easily fall into this. But yeah, talk to them in private, listen to their story, ask directly about suicide, and encourage them to seek help. Whether if they already have a therapist or they just need to reach out to their doctor, or if it's at that level and you have to call the suicide, they should call it, but you can encourage to call the 988. Those kind of things are imperative, and that can save a life. Let's see, we'll go into comments real quick. And my friend Tiana, love you. I love you too. Thank you so much for being here. Today is nervous and scary, but I'm so glad to be able to do it. Okay, so things not to do in this is avoid debating the value of life. And don't minimize their problems or feel that you need to give advice. In those moments, listening is best. That's what's needed, to have someone go, well, you don't want to do that because blah, blah, blah. For me, that's for my own brain to think. That's how I sort it out for myself. So if I'm talking to someone, I just want them to listen and just know that they're there. Because it can spiral you into a worse situation, at least for me. And I wouldn't want that for anyone else. So just listen, but don't judge. That's the last thing that's needed. Doesn't feel good. And if we're talking to you, it's because we trust you. And, we're there for help. Just because we have suicidal thoughts doesn't always mean we're going to act on them. But our brain does this weird thing with us. That's just how it is. I know for me, I can think, why am I thinking this way? One part of me understands that something's off. I also know it's not my fault, but I also will feel guilty. Why is my brain like this? And I know I'm not alone in that. But those are just things that people with depression kind of go through. So please don't judge. We can live good lives, but with our brain having these hiccups from time to time. Next question is, in your worst moments, what does it feel like for you, and how do you cope? In my worst moments, it feels like darkness. Even though I have a family, I have these great chosen family, I have friends and I have people that I know that love me, but you feel alone. I feel alone. And my husband can be right there next to me. He can come into the bed. He can sit on the couch. He can, all of that. And I still feel alone. It's weird. I don't know. Like, that's part of this. That's that kind of weird brain thing. I know I'm not, but I also feel like I am. And it's darkness. So, coping with it, you know, in just recently, I got triggered and I did something that I've never done, and I scared my husband, and I put my phone on silent and I just disappeared. And I didn't want to talk to anyone when when I feel like that's it for me and I am checked out and these thoughts are coming in and they are loud and they're intrusive and I'm trying to gauge what's okay and what's not and what I should do. I ended up, shutting my phone off. He didn't know where I was. He didn't know how I was doing. But I ended up just going and sitting at the Kaiser parking lot thinking, okay, well, worst case, I want to act on these thoughts. I'm going to do my best to get inside, that building. And I sat there for a few hours and just kind of went over things in my head, what and who I love and, how it would affect things. But there were moments in that where nothing matters. The darkness takes over and literally nothing matters. And that's hard. But that's how I cope. And then I ended up reaching out to him. But that's not, not all of us have the same reactions or actions, ways we do things. So that was mine. And it wasn't great, but I didn't do anything, that was going to be permanent. And that's how I dealt with it. So do you ever feel like an imposter because of all the hats you wear while having a mental illness? And by hats would be life, being a wife, being a mother, being this social person and doing things having our run club, having our nonprofit, all of these things I have to do in life and I have to put myself out there. I don't feel like an imposter because I have mental illness and I have to do all these things because I'm putting myself out there and being transparent about it. I don't want people to think oh, she's just she's great. When I'm out there and I'm around people and it you see me for what I am. If I am not doing well, I'm not going out. That's just it. I don't care if there's something that I have to be at as an adult and whatever. For me, full stop is taking care of myself. And if I can't be around people because I'm going to be messy or I'm just not in the right headspace, I'm not going to do it. So being transparent doesn't make me feel like an imposter. And that's what, that's something that I do love about myself is I know where to draw the lines and I have boundaries and I have hard lines of I'm not doing this because of that, or I feel this way so I physically can't. But yeah, it's the imposter thing is kind of, big and out there. But I don't necessarily feel like that because I want people to see me for who I am. And I appreciate that. That people are so kind, and the people that, you know, obviously now you all know, everybody knows, whoever watches this, but the closer people in my life do know, and they love me unconditionally. And for that, I am grateful, and I know I can reach out to them when needed. And I have my guy, which loves me all the time. So yeah, that's my journey with depression post-VSG. This comes and goes. The running helps, and I have to do 8 miles today, and I thought about doing it early this morning, and I was like, no, because it's going like this. I was so nervous about it, and really putting it out there for people. And luckily the weather's nice enough right now, so I can go out there, and I know it's going to make me feel better. I'm going to be able to kind of like release and relax and get my thoughts in order and feel like myself again. And not like this open nerve. I literally feel like, so that trigger question, if somebody asks like, how you doing? Right now, no, that would not get a good answer. It would be full on snot, tears, all of that stuff. But yeah, the run is going to help. And it's 8 miles, so I've got plenty of time to work through some things. And just, yeah, that's my journey. But just remember, you're not alone. I have my shirt on today from a friend of mine, and she's an amazing person. She did lose her son to suicide a few years ago, and she created this Eric A. Garcia You Are Enough Foundation to be able to help others in the prevention of suicide and look for the warning signs, understand and know them, because there weren't any for him. He did a great job of masking it. And, her story is powerful. We do have a walk coming up in a couple weeks, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that. But yeah, it's real. It's out there. This is life. And it happens to a lot of us, even though you may think, things are going great. It may look that way on the outside, but it's not always. So if you're feeling nosy, you can follow along my journey on Instagram. I'm on there as Jen_Bailey17, and on Strava. Later on, you can check out today's run. It's just going to be slow and steady. There's no races for me today, so it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to get those 8 miles done and clear my head and really, feel good about life. And I need that sunshine, that vitamin D. I think that's what it is, but it definitely helps. So if you have any questions or just want to reach out, don't do that, guy. I'm here. It's probably easier to get a hold of me on Instagram. Message me on there, but yeah, I am an open book, and I am very proud to be that way, because I don't want to hide things from people or think that my social media is something that is not real life. So until next time, if I can find my mouse, from me and my guy Karma, sending light, love, and happiness.